sort of going to be split up into different parts. I've got some theories about Walt Disney. I've got some theories about sort of Disney as a whole, and then I've got 10 dark theories about Disney movies that will change your perception of them. So they're the 3 sort of categories we're going to be going through this evening in today's video. So without further ado, let's get into them. If you have watched a single trailer for Saving Mr. Banks, the story of how Walt Disney attempted to convince the stubborn author B.L. Travers to sell him the movie rights to her book Mary Poppins, then you will already have put together that this is not a warts and all take on the mythical mogul. He wasn't a warty guy. Tom Hanks, who plays Disney in the film, told Hollywood Reporter. There was the labour issues that were in the 40s and stuff like that, but by and large, no. That will come as a surprise to anyone who has read mentions of Walt Disney's alleged anti-Semitism, or his cryogenically frozen head, or any of the other rumours that swirl around the icon. So in order to get things straight, here is a factual analysis of all the many charges laid against Walt Disney in real life. Spoiler alert, he is not buried beneath Pirates of the Caribbean. So charge number 1, Walt Disney was an anti-Semite. The evidence, well, there's the famous 3 Little Pigs scene in which the wolf was portrayed as a Jewish peddler. The scene was later reanimated, and there is the fact that in 1938, a month after Kristallnacht, Disney personally welcomed Nazi director Leni Riefenstahl to his studios. In Walt Disney, The Triumph of the American Imagination, Neil Gabler explores the rumours but argues that Disney practiced tolerance in his home life. There is some dispute whether the same spirit of tolerance extended to the studio, but of the Jews who worked there, it was hard to find any who thought Walt was an anti-Semite. So believability of this. Gabler posits that the charges stemmed less from personal behaviour and more from Disney's association with the very anti-Semitic Motion Picture Alliance, which the CEO founded after a particularly bitter labour dispute in 1941. Even if he wasn't personally anti-Semitic, Gabler allows that Disney willingly, even enthusiastically, embraced anti-Semites and cast his fate with them. Next charge, Walt Disney was racist. The evidence. These charges stem primarily from the use of racial stereotypes in Disney movies from the 40s. Dumbo's Black Crows, Fantasia's Black Serpent Centaurette, and The Song of the South, a movie so offensive that the Disney company will no longer let it be seen in public. Then there is Walt Disney's own behaviour. Gabler cites a meeting in which Disney referred to the Snow White dwarfs as a N-word pile, and another in which he used the term B-I-C-K. I don't want to say the word A-N, you know where that's going. The book notes that Disney anticipated the Song of the South controversy and attempted to make it less racist with a rewrite and meeting with the NAACP. The meeting never happened, and the movie was released anyway. There was also some controversy about the company's unwillingness to hire minorities at Disneyland. Believability, well, those are certainly not flattering facts, but they are facts. Yeah, Dumbo's like mad racist. Now, the next charge. Walt Disney was also sexist, so really Walt Disney is just ticking off. He's collecting them like bloody Pokemon cards, all the horrific traits you can have. The evidence. From Gabler, some of his associates thought Walt didn't particularly like women. He didn't trust women or cats. Walt letter sent from the Disney company in 1938, informing an applicant that women do not do creative work. The believability: women didn't get hired for most things in 1938, but again, not flattering. I can read you this letter if I just zoom in. It says, "Dear Miss Fords, your letter of recent date has been received in the inking and painting department for reply. Women do not do any of the creative work in connection with preparing the cartoons for the screen, as that work is performed entirely by young men. For this reason, girls are not considered for the training school. The only work open to women consists of tracing the characters on clear celluloid sheets with India ink. That's not my reading ability, that's the writing, and filling in the tracings on the reverse side with point according to directions." With paint, not point. I'll put the letter on screen, you can see it. It's difficult to read, okay? "In order to apply for a position as inker or painter, it is necessary that one appear at the studio bringing samples of pen and ink and watercolour work," blah blah blah. Yeah, that's not great, is it, Mr. Disney? It's not fantastic. Moving on to the next charge. Walt Disney was an FBI informant, okay? The 1993 biography, Hollywood and the Dark Prince, published documents alleging that Disney reported political subversion in Hollywood to the Bureau for 26 years. The New York Times deemed the documents authentic, but the Disney family then denied the reports, and the book has since been discredited. But, according to Gabler, Disney helped found his own anti-communist organisation, the aforementioned Motion Picture Alliance, and he testified publicly in front of the House Un-American Activities Committee. Believability: Walt Disney definitely did not like communists, but everything else here is suspicious. The next charge is more of a fun one. Walt Disney was cryogenically frozen, and his body is stored in a chamber underneath Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean ride. The evidence: two mostly discredited biographies claim that Disney expressed an interest in cryogenics before his death. Then his family held a private funeral. Somehow the frozen story sprung up from here. Sometimes it's just his whole body that's frozen, sometimes it's just his head. And this article says believability: this is completely made up. Walt Disney's ashes are located in Glendale. It says sorry. Now, that final one of Walt Disney being frozen leads us on very nicely to our next article. This article is titled 5 Disney Conspiracy Theories That Have Gone a Bit Off the Deep End. And it begins with this: the movie Frozen was a cover-up. When Walt Disney passed away on December 15th, 1966, the rumour mill started churning. Somehow, people got the rather odd notion that Walt had himself cryogenically frozen so that one day he could be brought back to life. There's absolutely no evidence to support this claim, and it's a pretty upsetting subject for folks who love Disney to linger on. But we mention it today because some fans have theorised the uber-popular movie Frozen had an ulterior motive. Sure, Disney wanted it to become a smash box office hit, but the theory claims it served another purpose, burying the ugly gossip of Walt Disney's supposed cryogenesis. Think about it from this angle. Disney is intensely protective of their family-friendly brand, and the company has borrowed a lot of its stories from classic fairy tales such as Pinocchio, Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, the list goes on and on. Frozen is based on a story by Hans Christian Andersen called The Snow Queen. So why isn't the movie called that? Many fans think Disney called the movie Frozen to divert attention from the cryogenesis diddle-daddle that had been circulating for decades by this point. Disney could have called the film anything, but they settled on Frozen. Now when you Google search the words Frozen and Disney, all you get is page after page of Anna, Elsa and a singing snowman called Olaf. Even if it wasn't done intentionally, Disney successfully buried the speculation that had been swirling around Walt Disney's death. That's a pretty good one, to be fair. Now I think we start. The rest on this list, I believe, are theories about the films themselves. So, staying with Frozen, could Anna, Elsa and Tarzan be related? Using Frozen as a touch point for our next Disney conspiracy, it seems many Disney characters might actually be blood relatives. Frozen co-director Chris Buck revealed during a Reddit Q&A that Anna and Elsa's parents might have also had a son. Hold up, we don't remember Anna and Elsa having a brother. He also revealed that the King and Queen of Arendelle, as well as their newborn baby boy, did not actually die after being shipwrecked. Instead, he stated they washed up on the shore of a deserted island and built a tree house before being eaten by a leopard. We could be wrong, but that sounds exactly like the plot to Disney's Tarzan. Since Buck made these two remarks before Frozen 2 came out in theatres, it's pretty obvious he was joking, but to this day some fans still believe the rumour is true. Next one is Jane, the great-great-great-granddaughter of Belle. Tug on one thread and the whole thing starts to unravel. There's also an interesting theory around that Jane from Tarzan and Belle from Beauty and the Beast are related. Both of them love to wear yellow dresses, have eccentric dads, they even look a great deal alike. Oh, and that tea set we briefly see at the camp before Turk destroys the place. It looks just like Mrs. Potts and Chip from Beauty and the Beast. But what if it doesn't just look like them? What if it is them? Well, in that case, Jane would actually be related to the Beast and not Belle, since he's in possession of the tea set. But still, we're talking some serious things that make you go, territory here. Oh, we're really sticking on this, family and related stuff into conspiracy number 4. Ariel and Hercules are actually cousins. Oh, but it gets so much weirder. Here's one for you mythology buffs. Hercules' father is Zeus. Zeus's brother is Poseidon. Poseidon's son is Triton, and Triton's daughter is Ariel. That means Ariel from The Little Mermaid and Hercules are second cousins, or first cousins once removed. You genealogists can help us out here. Wanna go even further down the rabbit hole? King Triton was once married to Ariel's mum, the Queen, and they had 7 daughters: Adina, Alana, Adela, Aquata, Arista, Andrina, and of course, Ariel. Well, there you go. In The Little Mermaid prequels, we learn that the Queen was killed by humans, hence King Triton's general hatred of them. But some people believe the Queen once lived in Neverland's Mermaid Lagoon and was killed by stupid pun. And now conspiracy number 5. Mother Gothel is the evil queen. The evil queen from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is one of the meanest Disney villains of them all. Not too many people we know shed a tear when she gets it at the end of the movie, or does she? The evil queen bears a striking resemblance to Mother Gothel from Tangled. In fact, Mother Gothel even keeps a suspiciously familiar-looking dagger in her drawer. That's led many fans to suspect the evil queen didn't actually die at the end of Snow White. Maybe she moved away and started a horrible new life instead. When Mother Gothel turns old at the end of Tangle, she looks a lot like the old hag who the evil queen portrayed herself as when tricking Snow White with the apple. Even if they're not one and the same, they could definitely be sisters. Okay. They kinda got a bit weaker. I hope you're still with me, because now we're gonna hopefully completely ruin some Disney movies for you. Because this article is titled 10 Dark Disney Theories That Change Your Favourite Movies, and it has the subtitle, Well, This Is Grim. So here we go. So starting off nice and light-hearted, Carl in Up was dead all along. Up tugged at our heartstrings more than most thanks to its opening scene titled Married Life. After watching Ellie and Carl's life together, it was easier to see why Mr. Fredricksen had become a grumpy loner in his later years. This was all turned around by the arrival of the joyous Russell. Or was it? There is an emotional theory that Carl is dead all along, and his trip to Paradise Falls is his move into the afterlife. Going with this, Russell is an angel trying to earn his wings, brackets Wilderness Explorer badge. Elsewhere, Charles Muntz is a fallen angel hell-bent on dragging Carl to the underworld with his hellhounds. Yeah, that's ruined it slightly for me, but we'll move on. Aladdin's post-apocalyptic future. Is Aladdin set in a desolate wasteland after a catastrophic nuclear war? The post-apocalyptic theory comes from the genie's reference to Aladdin's 3rd century fashion and how he's been trapped in his lamp for 10,000 years. That dates Aladdin to the year 10,300 at the earliest. There's also genie's references to the 20th century, and while it's a bit of a stretch, the Sega Genesis Aladdin game from 1993 also features an unexploded atomic bomb and tattered stop sign. Directors Ron Clements and John Musker told E! News they'd never heard that one, and no, Agrabah definitely isn't some American Horror Story apocalypse scenario. And here we've got Kristoff's morbid wardrobe from Frozen. Despite Frozen already being a pretty dark entry into the world of Disney movies, there's a twisted theory that Kristoff is wearing the skinned belt of Sven's mother. It's cold in the frozen expanse of Arendelle, so you can't blame Kristoff for wrapping up. Examining his winter wardrobe, it definitely looks like he's wearing reindeer skin. Considering Sven's mum seems like a bit of a Bambi situation, it's entirely possible the ice harvesters dressed the orphaned Kristoff in a hide so he didn't freeze. Maybe the dim-witted reindeer is too oblivious to notice, or maybe audiences are looking a little too hard for a darker meaning. Next up, Andy's mum is Toy Story's real villain. One of the most emotional scenes from the critically acclaimed Toy Story 2 featured Joanne Cusack's Jessie and that dear Joan, obviously not Joanne. and that tear-jerking "when she loved me" montage. We don't learn what happened to Jessie's owner after she abandoned the cowgirl, leading to some theories that the cold-hearted Emily is in fact Andy's mum. Notice that Andy has worn a human-sized version of Jessie's hat since the first movie, which is strange considering Jessie didn't arrive until Toy Story 2. Evidence over the years points to the strange mystery surrounding the real name of Andy's mum. The ages also match up, but we'll have to wait to see whether this one is finally confirmed or debunked in Toy Story 4. That tells you when this was written. I've still never watched Toy Story 4. I kind of refuse because I thought Toy Story 3 was like a perfect ending to the trilogy, but 4 just feels like a money grab, but let me know if I should watch it. Anyway, moving on to Lovely Murder. Captain Hook murdered Ariel's mum. Captain Hook was already the big bad of Peter Pan. I just realised we sort of touched on this one already, but I'll read it anyway for your pleasure. But is the pillaging pirate also a major villain of The Little Mermaid as well? With The Little Mermaid coming out in 1989, it was some 19 years before there were any answers to where Ariel's mother was. The Little Mermaid, Ariel's beginning, gave us some classic Disney heartache when it revealed Queen Athena had been killed by pirates. Remembering Peter Pan, there was a red-headed mermaid that looked a lot like Ariel cavorting in a lagoon. The mermaids were scared of Hook, and he definitely has the right gear on his hand to gut the helpless Athena. Oh gosh, that's a bit graphic, isn't it? Really have to use the word gut. Okay. Oh, and it's a repeat here. Mother Gothel is Snow White's evil queen. I won't read that one. Okay, this is a good one. In the movie Cars killed the human race. Pixar fans will know that grand theory that the slate of computer animated movies are connected in one big Pixar web. That's the Pixar theory. Go and check out my 1-hour conspiracy theory video because I talk about it there. There is a slight problem with this when it comes to the world of Cars and an Earth devoid of humans. This wild theory takes us way into the future beyond even WALL-E, where the human race has been wiped out and cars have gained sentience. Worryingly, this one is all but confirmed thanks to an interview between Cars' creative director Jay Ward and Screen Crush. Ward theorised that the Cars took over with their advanced AI and then adopted the personalities of their previous owners. Calhoun killed her husband, and this is from Wreck-It Ralph. Glee's Jane Lynch had a memorable role as the rough-and-ready Sergeant Calhoun in Wreck-It Ralph. However, the savvy Calhoun could also be a fiancé murdering soldier suffering from PTSD. We explored Calhoun's tormented past, where her wedding day was ruined by a cybug attack. The groom was eaten by a cybug, but given that the creatures turn into what they eat, Calhoun's attack on the beast means she was technically killing her husband-to-be. It's pretty dark, but given we don't see who/what Calhoun was firing at, it could have easily been a cyborg with Brad's face. That's lovely. So, never mind. Another repeat. I really should have vetted these before, shouldn't I? This one's about Anna's parents being Tarzan's parents. And we're on to number 10. We haven't had this one before. Here we go. Peter Pan is the angel of death. If you've ever wondered why the Lost Boys don't grow up, maybe it's because they're already dead, and Neverland is a form of the afterlife. Peter Pan isn't the ultimate villain in this. We'd guess it's some sort of devil Harry's idea of never growing up comes from. The theory also ties with the famous line, "To die would be an awfully big adventure." Suddenly it isn't all parties and pixie dust. I mean, that one's actually... they're all believable to an extent, to be fair. Not the Walt Disney ones, I more mean the movie ones. Realistically, the writers probably didn't mean half of it, if any of it, but it's always fun to make those kind of theories. I think with Disney it's harmless. I think in other areas like, I don't know, Marvel and Star Wars and stuff, theorising has probably done more, and Game of Thrones especially as well. I think theorising did more damage than good in the end, but it's still fun to sort of make these connections, and yeah, certainly interesting. And a lot of that Walt Disney stuff is mental. I previously knew about his ties to like Nazism, but apart from that I wasn't aware he was also racist and sexist. So yeah, the man responsible for a children's movie company was horrible, and he's also cryogenically frozen and resides under Pirates of the Caribbean, so pretty good. But that is going to do it for this video. If you could leave comments with conspiracy theories you would like to see. They don't have to be outright conspiracy theories, because like with these Disney ones, they're kind of just theories, because on the channel the playlist is getting pretty full, and we are getting a bit of conspiracy theory content fatigue, in that we've done all of the big hitting, or most of the big hitting conspiracy theories. So if you guys know any or think of any sort of slightly alternative conspiracy theories, or maybe I have just missed an obvious one that we should do on the channel, then please do let me know. I have to say, like, conspiracy theories are probably my favourite videos to do, just because I get such a laugh out of researching them. But I feel like my preference is going to get overtaken by the Reddit videos once we do them more regularly. But anyway, I'm waffling. Leave your suggestions down below. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I really hope you found it entertaining as well as relaxing.